like living here? You do, huh?
Phyllis Burgess is living a life she always longed for.
I call people around here and ask them if they keep their ears open for an apartment that I could afford. And I left the rest to God.
And thankfully, 10 years ago, her phone rang. An apartment became available at Inman Square Apartments.
I didn't look for a lot of places in Cambridge because I knew I could not afford them. I felt really grateful, truly, that I could come back into Cambridge and could afford to live in an apartment here.
Inman Square Apartments is a 116-unit expiring use development. For nearly 40 years, it has provided safe, quality, affordable housing for families and elders. All that could have been in jeopardy when the property's owner and developer decided that it was time to move on. His decision to sell put the property's future as affordable housing in question. However, its purchase by a local nonprofit, Homeowners Rehab, and the funding sources they were able to muster ensures its future affordability, providing security and peace of mind for current and future generations who will call it home. To make this purchase happen, Homeowners Rehab turned to CDAC, the Community Economic Development Assistance Corporation, which helps to create and preserve affordable housing in Massachusetts.
Inman Square Apartments is an example of an apartment complex that was at risk of conversion to market and loss of affordability. If it had gone to market, the rents would have increased beyond the reach of many of the low and moderate income folks. In Massachusetts, we have about 100 properties that are in a similar situation where there is a threat that the properties could be converted to market and affordability lost. In the case of Inman, many of the residents were very concerned when they heard that the property was up for sale.
I was worried. I just was afraid that I wouldn't be able to afford it. When I found out everything was going to work okay and it was going to be based on my income, I consider myself so lucky.
And it shows. On this particular day, Phyllis and other residents are celebrating Inman's successful road to preservation at a dedication ceremony.
The type of activity that gets us the most excited is preservation projects.
Peter Daly is the executive director of Homeowners Rehab, Inc.
We've been involved with expiring use properties for probably about 2 decades. When the first concept of expiring use, buildings that were going to be losing their restrictions and the potential to go market, we took it very seriously. And that's because Cambridge has an exceptionally hot market. The building itself is just a phenomenal building. It's got family-size units, it's got studios and ones. It has very low-income people, disabled, elderly. It's a very diverse population, and also one that is high at risk. The median income levels there are very low. And because of this building's location in Inman Square, a very hot market, where the Green Line is scheduled to extend within the next few years, that whole neighborhood is going to take off.
This is 3 of my boys, Shelton, Ricardo.
Just ask Karen Kilburn. She has witnessed a number of positive neighborhood changes over the years and looks forward to even more. Karen moved to Inman to meet the needs of her expanding family. She has 5 children.
I was afraid of the cost. I said, oh my gosh, how am I going to be able to afford to get a bigger place?
Karen's concerns were reasonable then and still are today. The average 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in Cambridge costs roughly $3,000 per month, well beyond Karen's reach. But because Inman Square Apartments was affordable, Karen was able to raise her family in the same community where she grew up.
It's a very safe neighborhood and my children feel safe. I feel safe with them walking home.
The tenants are always paying an affordable rent. If their income goes up, they'll pay a little more. And if they lose their job, their rent goes down.
Part of the preservation process for Homeowners Rehab, Inc. was to address the property's immediate and long-term capital needs so that it can continue to provide quality housing for current and future residents.
We replaced all the windows. They were a major complaint from the residents. There was also a lot of leaks through the masonry. The building's almost 40 years old, so a lot of the masonry needed to be repointed. There was a complete overhaul of the 2 elevators. And then there was a lot of kitchen work and bathroom work, and also handicap accessibility.
There was no way that I could live in here if it was like market value. No way at all. I just love Cambridge. I was born here, raised here, got married here, had my 3 sons here, and that's where I want to die here.